I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my special report on the new moon in Pisces, the astrology of this moon, what I'm calling a miracle moon, February 27th, 2025. New moons offer new opportunities to begin again. And there are time cycles associated with them. There's the building cycle, or the waning cycle down to the new moon. That's a couple of weeks. There's the building cycle, back up away from it. So there's a 28-day cycle that could be afoot here. There's a 13 moon or about a year cycle. So things from a year ago can be coming up again now in another layer. And things that you do now, seeds that you plant, can also have a manifestation time of those 13 moons. You may feel strongest in the 2 or 3 days before and after. So February 23rd through the first couple of days in March. And you actually can get insomnia from a new moon. Yeah, just as much as a full moon sometimes. I've noticed that myself. So don't be surprised if your dreams are awake. And this is one of the lines of energy that may bring in these miracles. The 12th house of Pisces and the sign of Pisces represent the dream state, the time that we spend sleeping. And it has to do with the places where everything is the same, the unity of life. So those tween times before you wake up, but you're part asleep, and before you fall asleep, but you're part awake, those tween times are in between worlds, basically. And this is a very otherworldly type of energy, strange phenomena, intuition, magic, and mysticism. All of this is enlivened at this time. And at the time of this new moon, we not only have the sun and the moon together, which makes the new moon at 9 degrees of Pisces, we also have Ceres recently in Pisces. We've got Saturn there since 2013. That's a longer term one into 2026. We've got Mercury there for a little while longer. We have new to Pisces transiting North Node. And we have for a little bit longer, for the last 14 years, Neptune is in Pisces, just barely clinging on before it pops into Aries. I will have a separate report on that major occurrence. But for now, we're just talking about all of this energy in Pisces because everything Piscean, everything miracle is connected to these placements, and they're all together. Now add to it that we've got Saturn in a trine with Mars in Cancer. And we also have Vesta coming together with Saturn and Mars making a grand trine. So there's so much magic at this moon. There's so much enlivenment of the water space. This is the feeling place. This is basically the right side of your brain. People can call it different things. Some people call it the feminine side. Some people call it the divine feminine. Some people will call it the artistic or creative side. And you can come up with many other things, but this is really what this water energy activates. It's the right side of your brain. It's that place where things are abstract, where things are connected, where there's a coherence, where there are, things that are more quiet, maybe against logic sometimes, right? This is the other side of the brain that feels, not the side that thinks as much. So Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and this new moon is acting as this reset for your soul. This is soul level stuff. This is karmic stuff here. And we've got Saturn, the Lord of Karma, coming into this nice angle with all of these, with Vesta, star goddess Vesta, which rules relationships in very relationship-based Scorpio. And then, of course, Mars, which rules action. And Mars is recently awake, having gone direct on the 23rd, and that energy is part of this new moon. Every new moon has its own imprint, so we'll never have all of the things that came together are coming together at this time. We've never had that before, and we'll never have it again. Everything, there is unique, and that brings out unique possibilities. And this new moon definitely offers this portal of infinite possibility and miracles. Miracles are the places in our lives that sometimes can't be explained. They can be felt and they are known. And that's what's going on right now. So dreams and intuition and healing and miracles, the time when you really may feel like the universe is listening deeply to your intentions. And it's not as much, again, like your mental intentions or intentions coming from your will. That is a different type of energy. This is a very, very feeling space, that space where you feel the presence of somebody, you feel a sign, you notice a synchronicity. This is a very heart-centered type of energy. Divine downloads, utilizing your dream space, even just by simply asking your subconscious mind or spirit or whoever you pray to before you go to bed for solutions to come up in your dreams or when you wake up. This is something that I've used for many years. It's part of the way that we can communicate with our subconscious mind, because there's so much knowledge and so much power and so much connectivity to the fabric that connects to everything else in the world, those threads of connectivity. We can tune into those and listen to those, the reverberations of the sounds that bounce when we touch one string in an interconnected web. We can hear those sounds, those messages better in this type of space, in this type of astrological environment. You can use this energy by meditating, practicing automatic writing to receive intuitive messages, praying, doing inner work, working with your dreams, lucid dreaming, and looking for spiritual signs. A prayer may really be answered with this energy. And the more active you are in this space, the more that may happen. Also sending out messages to those who've passed on, and receiving messages from those who passed on. This is a really, really great time when the veils are so thin. Now, at the same time as all of this is happening, Mercury, which is one of the placements in Pisces, is coming into a beautiful angle with planet Uranus. We've had a lot of activity with the planet Uranus over the recent times here. And this is another factor here. So this brings this energy of things out of the blue, like the lightning strike. But in this case, it's a nice angle. It's an angle of opportunity. So you may have a sudden intuitive download. All of this Pisces energy is related to sudden intuitive downloads. There may be a shakeup of some kind, but again, if it's related to this particular aspect or this beautiful series of, this grand trine, then, it would be something positive. Now, we do have to take into consideration that on this day, at this time, at the end of February, we are in eclipse season hardcore, and there are going to be multiple layers of things going on in your personal chart, in the general transits. The eclipses always bring intensity, so this is a time where you may be able to tune in to better understand the types of changes that are coming from the other major astrological occurrences. So it's really important during this time to pay attention to these random thoughts. They really could be divine inspiration. If you ask Spirit, what is it that you're supposed to be doing? What is it that you're supposed to know right now to help you in the next step of your journey? And it may just lightning strike right in. I've had this happen many times working with this energy consciously. Just the night before I'm recording this, I had it happen in a really big way. I'm in a very major transition in my life. I have a major planetary life cycle occurring, and it's a really big time for me in general. But I was asking some big questions, and I got an immediate lightning strike answer. And this planet of Uranus that is so active in January and February, in many different aspects, is really, helping us to connect to the lesser seen world, connect to God, Spirit, whatever you call who you pray to, that benevolent source. These sudden flashes of insight can turn into major opportunities. I always say when Uranus is involved, write down the ideas that you have, even if it's in the notes on your phone, because they're fleeting. And you may think, oh, that's the best idea I've ever had. Certainly I'll remember that, but you might not. All right, so we've got, let's see. Venus is about to go retrograde as well. So there's going to be some element of some things coming back from the past at this moon. March 1st is the day that Venus officially goes into retrograde. And, we'll be feeling that as part of this moon as well. This is very much having to do with Saturn. We talked about that. And this has to do with karmic structure, and Saturn in Pisces, for all the years that this is happening, is really helping us to reconnect to that side of our brain. Because in the world of logic, in the world of everything now, in the world of, 1 minute videos, dominating the world, and ways for our attention to just continue diminishing and us getting really, really, zapped. Our energy is getting really, really zapped from just how life is and all of the devices and the electronics and all of this. And this Piscean energy is just a place to relax. Gosh, it's a place to unplug. It's a place to have some sacred space. It's a place to get back into nature. It's a place to rest. It's a place to renew. And you are going to have, this zippy Venus and Aries energy maybe making you rambunctious. I know that I am feeling that for sure. Being a fire sign, I'm definitely feeling very rambunctious. And you may have this side story of that going on too. But at this moon, there's this overriding story of water. And water is the land of the heart. Okay, so we're that Neptune is here in Pisces, as I said, for a little bit longer. We've had about a 14-year story of Neptune in its own sign. Neptune rules Pisces. And in March, it will go into Aries and have a little pop back. But for the most part, is leaving this energy, and it's starting a whole new cycle, a really, really long new cycle that's been coming. And I really feel like Neptune is going to be able to move us into spiritual action as it moves into Aries. But here, lingering in these last times of Pisces, there's this energy of, well, you can call it spiritual law of attraction. You could call it, it's an attraction to the lesser seen worlds, basically. And the miracle energy that we have amplified at this time from all these placements is really supercharged when you surrender and you trust and you align with your heart's deepest desires. And this is really the truth. If you look into heart math, they're doing a lot of research to show the power that our heart has. Our heart field is actually more powerful than our brain field. And it's even more powerful when you unite your brain and your heart, which is, a whole other story. But getting in tune with this heart field is one of the opportunities that you have at this new moon time. Also doing water rituals, going by water, definitely paying attention to these dreams and signs, definitely manifesting from a place of flow and not force, allowing yourself some time to daydream, to visualize, and to trust the process. This is a very flowing, flowy type of energy. And going with the flow is the best idea at this time. So then we also have Mars in Cancer. Okay, we talked about that. So Mars recently direct has been working in the energy of Cancer since last September. It popped into Leo for a little while, but it never got far enough away to not also be influencing in Cancer. So there's been this very long-term story, unusually long-term from the Mars retrograde transit, of action having to do with home and family and going back to shore up things involving home and real estate and housing and family and your roots. And now as it's about to turn direct with this beautiful trine, it's adding all of this goodness to home and family and to your roots and to your close and financial and intimate relationships from the Scorpio end with the Vesta part of the Grand Trine. But Mars in this trine with Saturn, is anchoring emotions into actions and building these soul-aligned success possibilities. If you really think about it, especially in this water placement, Mars and Saturn trining like this and this extra grand trine bonus, they're like hidden superpowers within this miracle moon energy. It's a long-term quiet place, things that you've been working on for a long time. That's Saturn. And then you drawing off of the miracle space of this major stellium in Pisces. It's really helping you to be emotionally driven into action. And even though Venus is going into retrograde and there are certain things that may stop flowing as well now, Jupiter's awake, Mars is awake, this big trine is happening, and it can really bring you patience and commitment and a connection with divine timing, because there is a divine timing and there is a sense of something happening in the perfect time, even if that's not what we want at that moment. There is a benevolent plan. And at this time, with this beautiful energy, you might start to glimpse that plan, or you may see a very full manifestation of the plan. Now, this is a new moon, so you may see a very obvious manifestation, or this may be inner change, inner decisions that you make, inner seeds that you plant that can grow over the next 13 moons, and that you have the power of this trine behind all of it. If you ever have done any work with seeds, or if you think about even children as seeds or projects as seeds, when you take care of the seeds at the beginning and you water them really well, they can sprout really strongly, and their chance for survival into the long term and doing really well and thriving is expanded. So any seeds that you plant now by making wishes with this new moon have all the power of this, trine energy and this beautiful aspect with Uranus and Mercury behind the seeds that you plant. So you may see the big manifestations, or you may be planting the seeds, or both may be happening. So this is really just watery alchemy in action. Some other ways to work well with this is turning these inspired ideas into tangible success. Saturn can help with that. Identify one goal that you feel emotionally connected to, not a logical one. If it looks good on paper too, that's great. But this is something that, you're feeling. And then put the power of these placements behind that goal. Tune into that divine timing and, really act from the heart. And that's one of the big messages of this time, is to act from the heart. Okay, so some of the ways that you can help the miracles happen at this time are to clear emotional and mental clutter. Whenever the veils are thin, we can hear, more on these intuitive realms. But the more you clear out your space internally and externally, the more those waves of information can get in. This may be a time to say yes to unexpected opportunities, compliments of Uranus. Definitely a time to trust your intuition, even if it doesn't, and especially if it doesn't make logical sense. This is a time to embody the energy that you wish to attract, to impress upon the subconscious mind, that reticular activating system that is the filter for everything, so that you can stay sane and happy and not take in all of the massive amount of stimuli that is around you. You can impress upon your reticular activating system the things that you want to filter in and the things that you want to filter out. And this is a time to use Saturn's presence in this whole thing to anchor this dream into reality and to plant those seeds. Okay, so some final thoughts just to wrap up the energy of the new moon at this time. The new moon in Pisces is this open channel for miracles. It's open for breakthroughs. It's open for destiny shifts. Some things that you can look out for that may be signs from the universe are repeating numbers, like 222, 333, repeating numbers, looking at the clock at the same time every day, powerful symbolic dreams, feeling pulled towards a person or a place for seemingly no reason, random but these deeply meaningful conversations, knowing something is about to happen and trusting that even if there's no evidence on the outside. There's this beautiful affirmation from Florence Scovel Shinn. Florence Scovel Shinn was actually a teacher to the much better known Louise Hay, who became, very famous for bringing affirmations into our conscious use. But Florence Scovel Shinn was doing this a lot longer ago than she was. And one of her quotes that I use all the time, or her affirmation I use all the time, is, when I'm unmoved by appearances, appearances move. So if something seems like it's going a certain way or looks like a certain way, maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. And you impressing upon your subconscious mind that you're open to the possibility that the way that something seems it's going can change, can sometimes help to put you into a situation where that change has happened. And if it doesn't, at least it helps you to stay calm in the meantime. So, looking out for all of these things. You can do your miracle moon intentions, surrender to the magic, and let the universe handle the rest. If you love how I teach and you want to learn, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com, and see my $1,500 worth of free promos that you get when you register for my much loved Astrology Mastery Certification course. So the promos you get are more of a cost than the course itself. And it's very exciting. So if you like how I teach and you want to learn, then definitely go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. And if you love my content, you know I've been kind of informing you all, and maybe you're hearing this from other creators as well. YouTube is not showing my 150,000 subscribers all of my posts. You know, maybe a small fraction of that of you all are getting notified. So if you do value my work and you are wondering, hey, where's Annie? I'm still here. 12 years later, I'm still posting regularly, and I'm actually posting more than ever. I'm doing weeklies, doing new moon, full moon, and I'm still doing the monthlies for each of the signs. So go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my weekly newsletter, and get my content-rich newsletters, including the monthly write-up for the star report, the sweet and salty dates, my zodiac health tips, my retrograde resource page. You'll want to know all about Venus retro. You'll want to know how these eclipses are hitting, and you get all of my content early. But the most important thing here, I think, is that you get it, period. And that's really the only sure way to not miss anything I post. So go to anniehelpsyou.com. I hope you have a wonderful moon, and I'll see you in the next report. Bye for now.